Today we have 2 tips for writing strong claim statements. These would be the last sentences of your introduction. Remember, your claim is your position and a preview of reasons you're going to argue in your essay. The first tip is to use more abstract or concept language to get at the biggest ideas in your preview. And the second one is to use parallel structure for the items in your list in your preview. Let's look at what each of these means. In planning our essay, we started with specific pieces of evidence and grouped them with other pieces to find bigger ideas that was a reason to support our claim. We wrote that reason as a topic sentence. Then, we collected those reasons in the preview section of our claim. What I want to show you today is as we move up the organizer from the specific evidence to the bigger ideas in the claim, our language choices change as well. Our language goes from specific, detailed, or concrete to more abstract and more related to concepts and big ideas. This is called the ladder of abstraction, and it's a way of showing how we can go from very specific or concrete details to very big ideas. Sometimes we use abstract words or abstract nouns to talk about those big ideas. So for example, if we start with evidence and we're talking about the mayor of San Francisco saying that more than 1 billion plastic water bottles ends up in California's landfills each year, we're being very specific, talking about one mayor in one state, one mayor of one city in one state, and a specific number of plastic water bottles. And then we say, what's the big idea here? What's the topic sentence that might unite this and another piece of evidence? And we think, the idea here is really about trash and garbage in landfills and maybe also in oceans. So trash is a more general word or a more abstract word than plastic water bottles, but plastic water bottles are a specific kind of trash or garbage. And then we think, okay, trash and garbage, why is that a problem? We might say, well, trash and garbage, those are specific kinds of pollution or contamination. And landfills and oceans, well, that's really our environment. So the big idea here is that water bottles are polluting or contaminating our environment. Let's do this with another example. Let's say we have a fact, we're writing about the internet. Our claim is how the internet helps us build or support relationships. As we go down to the topic sentence level, instead of talking about the internet in general, we might be doing this paragraph about social media. And instead of talking about relationships, we're going to be a little more specific, a little more like, what kind of relationships? Well, we're talking about connecting with friends and relatives. And then for the evidence, we might get down to individual people and specific kinds of social media. So instead of talking about social media, we'll be talking about Facebook or Instagram. And we'll talk about how many individual people connect there. Turning back to the organizer, as I go from the evidence row to the topic sentence row to the central claim, you'll see that my language for each row becomes more abstract as I move up. As a result, in level 2, where I had an entire topic sentence and used more specific examples of resources like oil and water in my first reason, in the roadmap I'm boiling it down to the most abstract or conceptual, wasting resources. And in my second reason, I'm turning the more specific examples of throwing garbage into landfills into polluting the environment in my roadmap. So my roadmap is just a few short phrases with the most abstract language to represent the biggest ideas or concepts. Your roadmap should not be a long list with complete topic sentences or specific details that you plan to argue. The second tip is to use parallel structure for your preview. I'm going to demonstrate with these 2 claim sentences. They're intended to have the same content, just the wording of the list of previewed reasons is different. Take a pause to read those and then move on. I've rewritten the claim statements so they look more like a list. The position is first in black, and then the list of reasons are in blue, green, and purple. And what I want you to notice is that in the first one, the subject of each item in the list keeps shifting. The first subject is they, and then the second one is medical advancements, and then the third one it's we. So the sort of organization of each item in the list keeps shifting. In the second example, each item in the list starts with they for the rats and then has a verb of something they do to help us. They make, they help, they might help. And because each item in the list has the same structure, we call that parallel structure. The items are parallel to each other in their word patterns. That's a goal that we want to have. We like the second one better.